Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Andreas Diaz. Me and Will are back again for another spectacular Marvel Plus talk on actually our last Disney Plus show for Phase 4, She-Hulk. Attorney at Law. Will, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very good. I'm very excited to finally get over Phase 4 very soon. And
hmm
But I'm very excited to discuss She-Hulk. And it's, what, a 9-week journey with the show.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just is it the longest one that we've had?
Second after One Division. So, uh,
Or
well,
I
after
think WandaVision had 9 episodes as well, right?
yes,
But two
yeah,
of them premiered at the same time.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me get that out of the way. I thought because the critics, of course, the embargo lifted this week, and
hmm
last the 2 weeks before the show premiered, the critics got an early screening of 4 of the episodes. And just to give you a hint, Daredevil has yet appeared on all those 4 episodes, so we still have to wait for another probably after
Month or
episode
so.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Okay.
month or so. So
It's
this one
probably
just
just in one episode.
which makes sense, I
Yeah.
guess. But yeah, so I thought it was gonna be just like One Division or Hawkeye. Like those two shows did the first 2 episodes together, but
hmm
I don't know. But yeah, so we got the 1 episode, for this podcast for now. Before we will eventually get into 2 episodes together with this podcast, but just for now, we got this 1 episode, and I think this is a good start. I think this premiere episode was really great. Um, deliver on kind of like the sense of the show. I mean, if you've seen the teaser trailers and all that, it seemed like a comedy show with meta Deadpool sense of vibes. But what's your overall thoughts, Will, about the show, with this first episode?
Yeah, I thought it was fun. Uh, yeah, I don't know, just kind of like a just like nice like popcorny kind of feel to it. Which is like how I feel about Ant-Man and the Wasp too.
Mm,
So
that's a good point.
yeah, I don't really
Yeah.
have like any problems with it, but it's not like
Hmm.
top tier, but it's still like it's very
Yeah.
entertaining. Um, I thought
Yeah.
it was funny and like kind of charming. So
Yeah.
yeah, looking
Uh,
forward to the rest of it, and I hope they can like keep
keep it.
that like level of like humor and stuff.
Yes, I agreed. I'm pretty much in like the middle. I really enjoyed this. Well, I'm very happy that Tatiana Maslany is in the MCU. She's a great actress.
Mm-hmm.
I love her in Orphan Black. Um, so when she was cast, I was very excited for the show. Yeah, I think you're on point, Will. I think this episode was just a good popcorn TV slot program you probably see in the night in one of those 8 p.m. slots, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it delivered everything. I guess, I mean, we got so many of, well, I think comparing this to Disney Plus shows of Phase 4, I think this was maybe my fourth favorite. Like, it just hit right away than
Mm-hmm.
just being very sluggy
Mm-hmm.
as like compared to Falcon the Winter Soldier or Hawkeye. I felt like this just right away show you um, what the show is, and apparently, going back to the 4 episode like feedback from the critics, apparently they say that it hasn't yet developed like a series arc,
Okay.
so it could be just like Doctor Who season 13, where it doesn't like there isn't like an overall arching arc. It just could be just single episodes with its self-contained episodes. It seems like they're going with that, but I don't know. Especially what we got in this episode with the was it the Sarkanian ship that attacked both Bruce and Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
Like it, I mean, I think that could be the series arc, but we're not gonna delve into it in the later episodes. But I don't know. What do you think, Will?
I think that could be it. I mean, that seems like it was more of a Hulk storyline than a She-Hulk storyline. The ship
Yeah,
there, and I don't know how much he's going to be in it. Really, I don't know if they like how many episodes they would have gotten Mark Ruffalo for.
yeah.
Um,
Um,
but I do think we're definitely going to see more of Titania. Or yeah,
Jennifer Walters.
no, I meant
Oh, uh,
Titania.
uh,
Um,
oh, the supervillain.
the supervillain. Yeah,
Oh yeah, okay.
yeah.
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 That was when I first saw it. I rewatched the episode today, and um, I I actually enjoyed the show more the second time watching
Mm-hmm.
this, and the first time I was very shocked that we got her right away. I
Mm-hmm.
thought we are gonna get her later on, but I'm kind of happy because if you set that up early, we get this very cool, supervillain, superhero rival that will be perfect for the series.
Yeah, I hope she becomes like the connective tissue between the season. Like I'm kind of glad to hear that it seems like the episodes are pretty
Self-contained.
yeah, because I don't know, like a lot of these shows um it feels like they're like going into it with the like mindset that they're making like a really long movie that they just have to break up into 6 parts because of the like
Uh huh.
constraints of the medium.
Yeah.
But like they keep talking about this one as though it's a like sitcom, which like the first episode did not feel like a sitcom, but it did feel like TV instead of
Yeah.
like a movie trying to be something it's not. So
Yeah. I
um,
wonder the sitcom thing will be more into the next episodes.
could be,
Like,
yeah. It could be, yeah. It'd be hard to do the like She-Hulk origin story in like a sitcom esque.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I have the same feeling as you do. I think there were a couple of Disney Plus shows that did a good job with their like series arc. I think One Division and Loki are the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
I would
yeah,
agree.
yeah, and I think the ones that I feel like the weakest were, I think, Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Miss Marvel. I feel like those two are the weakest. Um,
Yeah, I I think Miss Marvel. They did. It did seem like they tried to have like episodes where like certain
yeah,
things were happening in each episode, and like that was like a self-contained thing. But
yeah,
that show had all kinds of other pacing issues, so it did kind of feel jumbled in the end.
yeah. Well, that, but also I was kind of felt misled, like where they were going,
Mm.
because I thought that initially when we were introduced to the what's it, the clandestines,
Mm-hmm.
the alien race, I thought they were going to be the major antagonists for the show, but then it didn't really happen. It was just they were just minor villains to this, like, just the journey for Miss Marvel.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
It's it felt
uh,
like they weren't sure which storyline they wanted to do, so they just went with all of them.
yeah, and same thing with Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Like initially, we thought it was John Walker, the new Captain America one, and then well, simultaneously having the Flag Smashers. Okay, that was fine, but then you added in Simo, and then added with the Pirate Broker slash
Mm-hmm.
Sharon Carter, and
Yep.
like it was just a mess in that
Yeah,
show.
just yeah. They're
You know, um,
they're
yeah,
pulling like too many things out, and they
yeah,
need to like focus these stories and just really try to like
yeah.
uh,
I
they
agree.
need to know what medium they're working. It really
Yeah,
does feel like it's like a film studio trying to make a TV show. Like it really shows that
hmm
they don't really have experience making actual TV.
yeah. I agree. I hope. I just hope. after this phase is over, we can have less Disney Plus shows and just focus on these properties that are the most important for Disney Plus. Like,
Yeah.
I hope I can be proven right with Secret Invasion. I feel like that makes sense as a Disney Plus show than like a full movie, you know?
Yeah, as long as it's like, because you need that like slow burn of like revealing people or scrolls or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, it depends on how they like how they do it, I guess.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'm very
yeah, I
curious
hope
about.
it's good. The cast for that one is just incredible. So
I know. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can never believe that we're gonna get Olivia Colman.
I know, yeah.
like, like she's so great. She's funny
Hmm.
in Hot Buzz, and I mean she's generally funny as a person.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
Yeah, and I love her. I'm sorry, like her comedy speech when she won her Oscar. That was so the best.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
yeah.
Well.
She's probably my favorite actress. So
Oh yeah.
I'm,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, top notch. She's been very consistent with her films.
Hmm.
It's incredible. I guess get into our actress. Let's kind of get into Tantalea Mazzoni as the She-Hulk, and I think she was the perfect casting. I think she was the best thing about this episode, and got me hooked to this show perfectly. And it's like, okay, I'm with this show because I think her delivery on the jokes and just her way of being like a relative to Bruce was believable, and
Yeah.
I thought that it was just perfect, and her chemistry with Mark Ruffalo was really great. Like you get it
Mhm.
since they're like cousins, and I really enjoyed that. What do you think about our lead so far, Will?
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely think like her chemistry with Ruffalo was incredible. Like they really did feel like they were like related in some way. They had that like long history. Um, and yeah, I agree with what you said about like her deliveries. There are definitely some jokes that like if someone else had delivered them, they might not have landed. But the way that she like gave them, like, still made them funny. Like all of the stuff about like Steve Rogers' virginity
Yes,
could have been really cringy,
yes, I know.
but I think she like sold it as like an earnest thing,
Oh my god, yeah.
so
Oh my
it
god,
worked.
yeah. I love
Like,
her. Oh my
mm,
god. Her line is like, "Oh, from the History Channel." Like that killed
yeah,
me. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, she was perfect. I like she hit the jokes very well. Like that. You're right. That Captain America's like running joke with him still like maybe not being a virgin was like hilarious throughout the episode, and then it gets a great payoff in the post
hmm
credit scene.
hmm
Oh my god, it was so perfect, and yeah. I will say, some people have been having issue with the humor for this phase. I think the show has definitely the perfect balance of the humor so far. We'll see how
it's
it goes.
yeah, it's been better than a lot of the more recent stuff for sure
Yeah. I
so
mean,
far.
it's, yeah, so far. I mean, it's better than Love and Thunder.
Yeah,
I mean, it's better than. I mean, it's somewhat better than Doctor Strange too, but it's depending how you take your jokes. And but this one just landed perfectly because it didn't hit you hard, or it didn't overstay its welcome. It was like
hmm
bim bam boom, that's it. You know, and that's
yeah,
good. But then also like you had great comedy, like visuals, like
hmm
slapsticks, with the Hulk powers, and like that's something that we never seen before. It's like seeing these comedic themes with Hulk, like of course the Hulk throwing the rock far
hmm
to the space. It's like hilarious. Like oh my god, and
yeah,
then and their fight, of course, was just so like it was brutal, but then it was funny at the same time. Like that's
yeah.
like you
I
know
when Hulk like flops over after they break the bar and he like pounds the ground a little bit like a
Yes,
toddler.
my bar. Yes. Oh my god. And then them being drunk as the
Mm-hmm.
Hulks. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, that was so funny. Oh my god. Yeah. 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 That I can't believe I was gonna write that. And let's get into the Hulk. I am gotta say I'm happy with this. I'm happy with the Hulk here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not happy what happened to him in Infinity War and Endgame, but I think this show kind of brought back the version of the Hulk I like
Mm-hmm.
from the two Avengers films. Um, I mean, like we still have the Smart Hulk, but I appreciate we didn't make too much jokes about the Smart Hulk. Like he did tell Jennifer that, look, the last 15 years I had a tough time, controlling the Hulk or trying to bridge myself to the Hulk. Like all that, like was so like important to me because we never got the gaps and like how he became Smart Hulk and all that. Like, and just a little tidbit, like this paid off the appearance of Shang-Chi in the Legend of the Ten Rings with
Mm-hmm.
the bracelet he had, the Hibalier that got him back to the human form. That was in the post credit scene there. When I rewatched this, I was like, oh, it's the same thing from the
Mm-hmm.
post credit scene of Shang-Chi. So okay, that makes sense because I was wondering how he got his human form, and like now I was happy that we got that confirmed and you know move on, which is
Mm-hmm.
good. But I appreciate how he was taking his cousin. Like, look, yeah, you become the Hulk, but you have to take precaution and like, because he didn't know at the time that she was self conscious. And I think that's one of the things I appreciate about this episode. We didn't joke around about the Hulk, like
Mm-hmm.
her condition. Like he took steps to make sure that she was being contained but also safe.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about like all that in this episode, Will?
Yeah, no, I really liked how they handled the Hulk here. I mean, just like first of all, like let Bruce have a personality again,
Yes, I agree.
instead of just being present.
Yeah.
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 So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that. Yeah, I liked that. Like, I mean, just like all the things that he would do to like make sure that when she hulked out, she would be like safe and stuff. It was just like an extra way of exploring their relationship as cousins. Just like showing how much he cares about her and just like all the thought that went into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And I appreciate that the joke and the humor wasn't part of the story. It was just part of that person's personality.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I could see Bruce saying "bro," "bro," when he was in that furnace. Like, bro, that was what, $1 million of property.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really appreciate that. Yeah, and I like the opening when they got hit by the alien ship. It felt like the 70s show of the Incredible Hulk, like especially with Jennifer Walters with the white shirt and all that. Um, like all that was like very cool, and I think this episode was directed very well by Kate Chow. That's her name, if I'm saying it correctly.
I haven't.
Yeah, she's gonna direct the whole episodes for the show, and I think she did a really terrific job of directing this episode. It was well paced, and the actions was really good. I understood what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I want to get into like very quickly the visual effects. That was the big thing people were complaining about. Seeing this, I think the visual effects were good. I mean, it's like it. I mean, it's hard to make the CGI look good, but I think this was good, and they definitely fixed it after that trailer dropped like 3 months ago.
Yeah. No, I thought it was fine. Like it's gonna be hard anytime you have like an entirely CGI character.
Yeah, yeah,
Because there will inevitably be moments where something just looks kind of off, but
yeah,
and like animating a woman in that way is a lot harder too, because like hair
yeah,
is hard, so you can't have just like Ruffalo's short hair. You gotta have,
yeah,
her Jennifer's like long hair, um,
yeah,
and there aren't as many like details in her face that kind of like take it out of that uncanny valley feel.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I
it's
agree.
still like most of the time she was on screen, I wasn't like thinking about it. I was just like, oh yeah, it's She-Hulk.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Hulk is very easy to do. I mean, like since
They
2000,
have like, yeah,
like
like,
so many movies under
yeah,
their belt, you know.
14 years of
Oh
practice
wow.
and like reference for the animation. So.
Yeah, and this is the first time seeing She-Hulk, so
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be tough. But when we move on to see like if they're ever gonna do a second season or like see her in another movie, her her appearance will get better.
Mm-hmm.
So just like the Hulk did, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, and I like some of the small details. Like I like how that he stayed in the South America. Like I like how that's like consistent from the in the Incredible Hulk, where he was been hiding 5 years in the South American territory. And of course, he was selling in Brazil, right? Brazil and the Incredible Hulk, and I like how his base of operations were in Mexico. Or yeah, so I really appreciate that, and I like how we tie in Age of Ultron, like with the iron helmet that was like I think similar to the one that Ultron was in
Mm-hmm.
Age of Ultron. So really neat things, and I like that we discuss a bit more Tony in this episode. Like I like how like one of the missed opportunities for the MCU was the science bros. Like I really
Mm-hmm.
like the Bruce and Tony, and I appreciate in this episode we got briefs how like funny that well, Bruce built the bar, and then Tony was drunk and he was like talking about Steve, like it was happy but also sad to see like he had a close friend and now he's not here. It was it was heartwarming, and I like the
Mm-hmm.
toast that Jennifer did for Bruce. So I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really appreciate that. Let's get into the meta approach. I think this is where they were mentioning the sitcom thing. Like, I feel like they should done more the meta approach to make more clear that this was going to be a sitcom
Mm-hmm.
of sorts. I guess I'm really weird about the sitcom approach because we had that with WandaVision, and
Well,
I. What do you think?
I think WandaVision was more of like a TV. It wasn't a sitcom, but it was like a TV show that was paying homage to sitcoms.
Yeah.
Whereas I think, I don't know, I'm not buying that this is gonna like feel like a sitcom. We'll
Yeah.
see, but
I.
I really think it's gonna be like just a normal Marvel thing that like
Mhm.
tries a little harder to be funny.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
we'll see. But yeah, the fourth wall breaking. I mean, like we said earlier, like it would be kind of hard to like do the origin story and like give it the like kind of like serious moments that it deserves while having
Mhm.
it be like a nonstop joke fest. So it did feel like if that is what they're going for, if it is going to be like a sitcom,
Yeah.
then I think they needed to not do that in the first episode, but it did feel weird to have like elements of that mixed in with like all
Yeah.
the fourth wall breaking and stuff. So
Yeah. I
we'll see.
I I actually kind of like it because it was effective storytelling to get us to the origin. I actually will say this is actually my best. This is actually the best origin story to tell. Like I seen for a superhero. because I do appreciate Miss Marvel and Moon Knight's origin stories, but I when you think about origin stories, like the reason I like Batman Begins or Iron Man, because they were very tightly written and an economical setup of your character you're gonna follow throughout the series, right? And I feel like this did that well. Like, okay, we got our meta approach and the humor right away, and then we want to show you how she became the Hulk, and we slowly get into like, okay, she's different from Banner, like she's self conscious, but there's similarities between her and Bruce, but just different how they get angry,
Yeah.
basically, I feel like this episode did a really good job, especially with the running time. Like this was like 37 minutes, or I mean, like under 40 minutes compared to the other Disney Plus shows, and I was very impressed how they just nailed everything you need to know about Jennifer. Her I think presumably her journey as probably she has to realize that yes, she has to be a lawyer, but she also has to accept that she's now a superhero, and she will have to accept that this is her new life. And I think like right away I know what they're going to do with her character in this series, where I think it took me a while to understand what they were going to do with Miss Marvel and Moon Knight in their shows, and because like we're like, especially Moon Knight was very like, because you couldn't trust Mark, or Mark, because he had that like illness he has, and so like could like it's like Legion, but not as good as Legion, but like but I couldn't trust the our main protagonist because he was just having blackouts and like what's going on, and then Miss Marvel, like she was a teenage superhero, but they went into more like a confidence, like she wanted to be a superhero, like she knew when she got her powers she wanted to be this, but she didn't know how to go at it after meeting with Bruno's help, and then the clandestine and all that. Here it was just very good that we get what she was doing, and also the this is the perfect example of balancing tone. Like it wasn't jarring, like when Jennifer was trying to go back home. Of course she had the argument with Bruce, and I like how that scene was seriously, and then we slowly got into a little bit of jokey, but it just took a while for it to get to being jokey. Like this show, like this episode controlled its tone compared to other movies. Like Thor: Love and Thunder was just like a bipolar movie, whiplash, like up, like trying to be dark and serious, and then went to the silliness and comedy route. It was just awful. And then here, this show just balanced the tone, and I feel like compared to these other superhero things, So I feel like this origin story was well told, and and that's where you get it. I think next episode we'll get into more of the routine and the status quo of what the show is. It's like they show, okay, like I mean they outright tell us like, yeah, you're respecting a lower shore, but let's give you like how we got to She-Hulk before we do the lower shore. So I appreciate that.
Yes.
So I think that was fine. I just hope we can do enough in this short running time, because that's another thing I heard, that this 4 episodes, like I guess this show is gonna have a short time, and I mean I am cautious about that, because, but then again, like great shows like Batman animated series and Spectacular Spider-Man had short run times and you can deliver, so I will give them better than that.
Yeah, I think as long as they like again, like if they really are taking it as like a television approach, and then I think from what I've I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure the like writers and the directors involved come from a TV background instead of a film background.
Yeah.
I think they'll know like how to work within that time constraint, um, and how to like tell a neat like story that like wraps up nicely instead of just like kicking different plot threads to the next episode.
Yeah, I agreed.
So that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I just want a superhero show too with a hero versus a villain.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to see, like She-Hulk versus, the Leapfrogger, or the Wrecking Crew. Like I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
So and I'm excited. Obviously we mentioned Daredevil. Like I'm excited for her team up with Juan and and Daredevil. Like I want that in my superhero shows, and Disney Plus shows. Like they have done that. Like we got that with Falcon, with like we have the cameo with War Machine, but it's been so far self-contained.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhat. Kingpin was the reappearance of his appearance after season 3 Daredevil. Well, if that's canonical, but whatever. Yeah, so this is the show I always want to see with superhero shows. Sometimes we have to add this, like Sandra, like a spy thriller, or like a romantic comedy, like with Lois and Clark, the new Adventure Superman. Like I just want a straight out superhero show.
Yeah.
Like so I just so I'm excited for this part about this show, for the most part. And I guess we can get into the jokes. Like, what's your favorite funny moment from the show? What was like the one that got you laughing the hardest?
Let's see. It was definitely one of the interactions between Jennifer and Bruce. I think there was this one line where he was talking about how he like didn't come up with the Smart Hulk name.
Yes.
And she said like, but you use it, so that's implied consent. And he says, "Don't lawyer me," really quickly.
Yes.
It was the delivery, but like, yeah, it felt very like natural for like, like relatives to have that kind of like banter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't feel as forced as other like Marvel jokes tend to be.
Yeah, that one was really funny. But the other joke I liked was when she was leaving, and she was like, she apologized, like she did the apology and not apologizing to him of hurting his feelings, and it's like, oh, nice move for a lawyer.
Yeah.
That one was funny for me. Yeah, but my favorite moment was definitely the post credit scene of her saying
yeah.
Oh my god, I was not. That was not I was expecting, and I thought it was really funny. It got me.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and it like, was she drunk too? Like that was another thing. Okay, because he brought up that when you're in your horse form, you're not gonna be toxicated, and I get that, but when you're in human form, because there's a scene in the episode where she got hung over when she's back to her human form, and that was hilarious too. I liked the one bit where she bumped her head in the table, that was funny, and the honk, that one was funny. I love that recurring gag. Yeah, great moments from the show. I love it. But yeah, okay, let's get into what else do we need to discuss. I guess I want to get into the Hulk versus She-Hulk thing. That one I wasn't expecting. I thought that was where the visual effects was very good. I was so happy to see the thunderclap back, because that was something I was like, he haven't used that since the Incredible Hulk. Oh my god, since what, 13 years now, or 15 years, I guess.
14.
14? Yeah, 14 years.
2008 to 22.
Yeah. Oh my god, 14 years. Oh my god. Yeah, I was so happy he did it, and it was funny. Like this was funny. Like she was trying to do that, and it didn't work the first time, and she got used to it, and it was like, oh my god, like so brutal. And it was funny how his glasses got broken, like slowly. It was, oh my god, yeah. Great fight scene with the hero. I think this is my favorite superhero fight scene after Thor, or or the Hulkbuster versus Hulk thing, right? To Ultron. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean third, I would say. It doesn't beat Thor versus Hulk, or the Hulkbusters versus Hulk.
So you just like when Hulk has fight scenes is what I'm getting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he is the most powerful.
Yeah,
And
he is. He is like, if you're gonna watch some people punch each other, he's the most interesting to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, I want to see this with the Thing. Like that's like I mean that's the famous one, and I really want to see that. And
Yeah.
and because the Domination, like when he goes versus, I don't know, like it's a weird thing with superhero things. Like when they versus with the villains, it's not as interesting as the heroes for some reason.
Yeah. Well.
I can't,
Yeah. No, I agree.
you know.
Yeah, I think it's because you're like kind of rooting for both of them, so it's a little more like there's more of like a internal conflict there. Yeah.
Yeah, and like when Hulk went with Thor, because that was his first time, like in a while that he turned into the Hulk in the first Avengers, and then of course in Age of Ultron he was tricked by Wanda, and like he was the monster, that was the Hulk, not Banner, and it was interesting, where the villains, it was like, oh yeah, he's the villain, bam, he's dead, and boom, he's exploded, and it's like I it's like the Abomination versus the Hulk thing from the Incredible Hulk is okay, but like it was just, it wasn't there yet. And so I'm curious how they're going to do that in the show with the battles. But
Yeah.
if you keep it comedic, I think that will keep me liking this, because this wasn't like serious. It was very comedic fighting between cousins, but I just like it because you see how different She-Hulk is going to be from the Hulk, really, in terms of her fighting. Yeah, because especially when we're going to see Wrecking Crew, it's like she's going to do it differently than the Hulk could with those guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we saw that with Titanium. Like she just punched her, just one punch, and then she's knocked out. Like so, very different from the Hulk. So yeah. I guess we get off the to wrap things up. Like we get back to the courthouse, and I was gonna ask you something. When I rewatched this scene, I noticed, was this the person that Jennifer is gonna, what we call it, indict, or like she's going against? Is that the one that's gonna set up the superhuman law division that Jennifer's been?
Yeah, I don't think he was the like I think he was the lawyer for the other side.
Okay, that's
He wasn't on trial. He wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because yeah, that is let me pull that up. I know the firm. Because it's the Goodman Lieber Kurtzberg, firm. By the way, I love that because it has I think Stanley's brother's name there, so that's pretty cool.
But yeah, his Stanley's original name was Stanley Lieberwitz. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think Kurtzberg was Kirby's.
Yeah, that's Kirby's actual birth name, and then Goodman is that's Martin Goodman, who was the former editor for Marvel, Timely Comics, before he left. So yeah, very cool. And it was mentioned in Agent Carter in season 1, episode Bridge and Tunnel. So
Oh,
yeah, so
that's
we
cool.
we got mention of them early
Hmm.
before the show, so that's cool. Okay, because I did recognize him from the
Yeah,
trailer.
I think it was.
Okay,
I could be wrong, but
yeah, we'll I think when we go back, we'll come back for the podcast. We'll see if the second episode we'll see him again. But yeah,
yeah, I have a feeling we're gonna pick up roughly where this one left off for episode 2.
yeah,
Um,
I agree.
yeah,
Because I was like, he does look familiar, and I guess one thing I do want to ask you, how do you feel about, because there's just some like how do you think about the show handling the feminist side of the show, like because the way that this other male character who was a Dennis, that's his name, and then the friend Nicole that we saw in this episode, like we thought about her supporting characters, those two in the show.
I mean they were in it very
Briefly.
briefly.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was. I
It felt a little like unsubtle, but
yeah.
again, it was like a brief thing. So like,
Mhm.
I don't know. It could be handled better in like later episodes. Like I'm not worried that
Okay.
the whole show is gonna feel like that.
No, I don't think
Um,
so.
yeah.
Um.
So I thought they handled all the like gender stuff between Jennifer and Bruce really well.
Yeah. I mean, and they were family, so I thought they handled that pretty well. You know?
Yeah, and like the scene she's like at the bar, like again, it was a little like
Yeah.
unsubtle, but it was fine. Like it wasn't like
Yeah.
it didn't take me out of it.
Yeah. I like the girls coming into the bathroom and helping her.
Yeah,
That was a funny scene. I did like that one.
you see someone
Yeah.
in danger, you help them out.
Yeah, that was a funny, just unintentionally funny moment. That was funny.
I think it was a little. I think it was intentional. I think they knew
Yeah.
it was like kind of absurd, but exactly what she needed was. Yeah.
Yeah, that worked compared to when like Spider-Man was in Germany or Berlin and Far From Home, and then there was like the joke, "Oh, you're so nice." The people of Berlin,
Yeah.
like I felt that was very contrived, for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one didn't. This one was just perfect. It stick the landing with that. So yeah, well, and because when she was waiting for Bruce to pick her up, there was a scene with the guys, and like, I, I guess because she was very distorted because she just came back from her human form, and so I can understand she was very like, well, I mean, she is very excited because like they were attacked by aliens, like her brother was going to be Hulk form, and it's like, yeah, so I understand. Okay, because I was just concerned about that because the way when we began the episode with her like pressing her speech towards the eventual courtroom, you got this guy just being down to her, and then you got the friends supporting her. It's just
I mean, like, stuff like that happens all the time. It was really like I don't know, the like execution of it felt a little off, but I don't know. I didn't get that feeling like at any other point in the episode. So it's, and even when I did get it for that scene, it was like not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of Dennis, he is also a comic book character. I do want to bring up. He's from Savage Street Hulk, 70s. And I think so he's from there. But yeah, and then and I guess I want to bring up the origin story again. I really appreciate how different it is. I mean, because in the comics, her way of transforming is always usually she helps Bruce, and then some villain, or like in her first appearance, it's the mafia, because she was a lawyer at that time. So the mafia was gonna hit on her, got a hit on her, and then she got hit, and then Bruce did the blood fusion. That's always the case with the She-Hulk. I thought this way how they did it here was very like realistic, and I think it worked here.
Yeah, I think my favorite part about how they did it here is like it really works with how they've set up Hulk in the MCU. Like we know that if his blood gets like into your bloodstream, it like reacts a certain way, but we also know that he's like been pretty like impervious to damage.
Yes.
So it could have only happened when he had that inhibitor and he was like recovering his arm from Endgame. Like it felt like the natural consequence of things that had happened to Bruce.
Yes.
Like throughout the series. So
yeah, and this is also going back to what we saw in the Incredible Hulk with the clever Stan Lee cameo, that it does kind of kill him, presumably. But I mean for Stan Lee, but here, yeah, it was a good tie up for that, and then here it was good that he kind of explained that because they're both genetically connected, like they have some sort of similar genetics. That's why she was able to transform. So like it was a good giveaway, that she was able to do that because she has some genes from her cousin.
That's why they reacted to the gamma radiation the same way.
Yeah, so I really appreciate that. And I appreciate like it's different, but like I appreciate how it was a car accident, because that's how the Incredible Hulk show did it. Like when Bruce actually Hulk for the first time, is because he couldn't pump the wheel for the car. It got cut off, and so that was how he hulked out. And I like how here we did it the other way, where they both got into a car crash, but first by aliens, and that's how she got her powers. So that's very neat to reference the Incredible Hulk, because there's one scene from the teaser trailer, or from the Investors Day. There was a scene where they dress in 70s clothes, and I'm wondering where we're ever going to get that. So,
well, are we sure that was a scene and not just filmed for a promo?
Oh my god, they don't tell me that. I want that so badly, because I definitely want them to, reference the show, Bill Bixby and all that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, So yeah, I think the show was overall good. I really like the end. I actually like the end credit scene. I think that was really great. I love the Sun. Who's That Girl? I actually listen to Sun now repeatedly, and it's just awesome. Great end credits music. And then of course seeing Tatiana for the first time was great. Quick fight. I kind of wish we have a longer fight, but oh well. But we're gonna see her again, so we'll probably get more fights. But you have anything else to say, Will? Before we sign out, I think we covered everything for the show.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you, Will, for joining me today for this podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I thought this was a good start, and I will say our next meeting will be the 4th of Sunday.
That's Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
But
I totally forgot about that. 11, right? Because we'll probably have 3 episodes together, and then.
Okay, yeah, if you want to do that.
Yeah, because I don't want, because I know your family are coming over.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but yeah, well, everyone will have to weigh in, see where the podcast is going to arrive. But anyway, thank you for everyone for joining this podcast. Maybe we'll be we'll be back for another spectacular podcast for She-Hulk. But till then, check out more content for the channel and have a good weekend. Bye.